If you're a person over 40 and you are on a fitness journey, you've restarted your fitness journey and you feel like you are not making any progress, your body's just not responding the way it did when you were 25, please know you are not alone. You're not broken. Just understand that the rules have changed. Coming into your late 30s, your early 40s, your body starts to shift, things start to change. It's totally normal. Hi, my name is Heather, and I had my own body transformation at the age of 48. I lost 60 pounds. And I wanted to share with you some of the things that I don't think we talk enough about when it comes to a body transformation journey in your late 30s, 40s, even into your 50s. The first thing is that understanding that the things that you did in your 20s are not going to work in your 40s, your 50s, even beyond. So when I was in my 20s, I was one of those people that I went to the gym 3, 4 days a week, lifted weights, did the cardio. I was in the club on the weekends with my girlfriends, dancing, getting a lot of movement there, having a good time, drinking alcohol. I was also the kind of person that when I would leave the gym, I would get out into the parking lot and I would light up a Marlboro Light on the way to my car because I didn't smoke in my car. But I was that person that would go to the gym and then, light up the cigarette, right? And, that lifestyle, might work in your 20s. I lived off Snickers, Mountain Dew bars, lean cuisines, stuff like that. And I was thin, I was in shape, I had a ton of energy. And then as I got a little bit older, gained weight, 3 pounds here, 8 pounds there, 10 pounds here, that kind of thing. And before I knew it, I was 60 pounds overweight. And so I lost 60 pounds between the age of about 46 to 48. And I just found that the rules they're just not the same. You got to give yourself some time. This was the second time I actually had to lose a significant amount of weight. As I said, I was the kind of person that would leave the gym and light up a cigarette. And so when I quit smoking, I ended up gaining like 50 pounds. I gained like 50 pounds because I just replaced the habit with snacking and I really just wasn't paying attention to it. It was just more like I feel like having a cigarette. So I was eating Little Debbie's, like the little ho-ho things. That was kind of my thing. And so before I knew it, I was 50 pounds overweight. And I lost weight the first time around. I used Weight Watchers, and that really taught me about portions, portion control, and understanding you can really just kind of eat what you want as long as you eat it in moderation. But then as I got older, I got really into bodybuilding, really into fitness, and I started doing fitness competitions, got really into really good shape. But then as soon as I stopped doing that and, COVID happened, the pandemic happened and started gaining, 5 pounds here, 8 pounds there, 10 pounds here, 3 pounds there. Before I knew it, I was 60 pounds overweight. So I had to lose 60 pounds this time around, now in my mid 40s. And what I found was that the rules are 100% different. They're 100% different. You really have to give yourself a significant amount of time. And so when I originally set out, I wanted to lose 50 pounds. And I thought, well, at a pound a week, that's a year. So in April of 2024, I said, I'm going to give myself a year. And that's where this idea that I have talked about frequently is this idea of just giving yourself a year, giving yourself time to adjust to your new lifestyle. It's going to get you through, job losses, changes in jobs, moves, divorces, new relationships, the big significant things that happen in life that can sometimes throw us off track of our healthy lifestyle. And so in April of 2024, I said, I'm going to give myself a year to lose 50 pounds. I ended up losing 35 pounds in that full year. And so what I just kept going. It wasn't like I was like, oh, okay, a year's up and I didn't lose the weight. I'm just going to, do whatever now. I just kept right on going. It became a lifestyle. And so giving myself that time, that permission to take the amount of time that I needed in order to drop the weight that I needed to drop really kind of helped remove the panic. It helped remove I need to get this done right now and the frustration of the up and down on the scale. And I did measure myself. I measured myself frequently. I use an app that I did need to measure myself. It takes the averages and that. And just, having this mindset of, okay, the scale's up a half a pound today. Maybe I ate a salty meal or, need to go to the bathroom or, just normal hormonal fluctuations. It wasn't this like big deal. When it's in this mindset of, I need to lose 50 pounds and I want to take it off in 4 months or 3 months or 6 months or whatever. And you put this really constricted time on it. It creates this sense of panic. It creates this sense of, oh my God, I went the wrong direction as soon as the scale goes up just a little bit. but also, giving yourself a normal, like realistic amount of time to have your body transformation journey take life. It removes all of that panic. So understand that the rules are very different now. You want to make sure that you give yourself the time that you need and be realistic with what your goals are. Sometimes when you're you're new to anything, I don't care what it is. Sometimes you don't know what's necessarily realistic. You don't know what's realistic for a body transformation journey. You might say to yourself, like, I'm going to go run a marathon in 6 weeks, but I can't even run down the block. Most people might know that that's an unrealistic goal, but, something that you've never done before, you might not necessarily know what's realistic, what's unrealistic. If you are in a place where you want to lose 30 pounds, give yourself 30 weeks. If you want to lose 50 pounds, give yourself 50 weeks. It's okay. Give yourself a year. I was in a Facebook group the other day, and somebody had asked the question that she wanted to lose 40 pounds. A personal trainer told her that it was going to take her probably about a year, to expect about a year to lose 40 pounds. And she was questioning it in a Facebook group. And a lot of people were responding saying, you can do it quicker. And the person is just trying to get money out of you. The trainer was just trying to get money out of you. And yes, it could 100% be that. But I also think that personal trainer was doing this woman a service by being realistic with what her expectations were with her goal. Sure, you can lose 40 pounds in a shorter amount of time, but you might be miserable. You might absolutely be miserable. You're hungry all the time. You wake up in the middle of the night, you're starving. You want this to become a lifestyle. It's not I got to hurry up and get all this weight off. And then as soon as the weight's off, I just start eating everything in sight and then I gain it all back right away. So really understanding that the rules have changed, accept that this is going to take some time to do, and accept that this now needs to become your lifestyle. This is not lose 30 pounds in 3 months and then move on with your life and keep doing what you were doing before. It's coming to the new lifestyle. Number two, the thing I want to talk about that I don't think we talk enough about is that you can't punish your way back into shape. Okay. So these extreme diets, this mindset of I'm going to take off 40 pounds in 3 months, and these extreme diets just don't serve you anymore. They never served you to begin with. Your body just maybe handled them a little bit better when you were younger. But in your late 30s and your 40s and your 50s, when you start stressing your body out like this, it's not good. It's not good for yourself long term. It creates stress on your body that you don't need. And I like to preach the boring basics, right? And one of the boring basics is figuring out ways to lower your stress levels. And one of those ways of lowering your stress levels is to fuel your body the food and nutrients that it needs. It needs protein. It needs complex carbohydrates. It needs fruits. It needs vegetables. It needs fiber. It needs good, healthy fats. You need to fuel your body so that it can handle all the shit that life throws at you. You can handle, work-related stress. You can handle family-related stress. You can handle the stress that comes from your workouts. That creates stress on your body as well. And so by fueling your body in a way that supports your healthy lifestyle, supports your goals. So getting out of this mindset of these extreme diets, extreme amount of cardio, extreme amount of working out, you're putting unnecessary stress on your body. You want to shift your mindset to one of, I'm going to fuel my body. I'm going to give my body the nutrients that it needs in order to support me and where I am in my life. I'm building muscle. I'm working on my heart and my lungs and keeping them in good shape. I'm working on my stress levels so that I can handle all the crap that life throws at me. Thinking about things more from that perspective versus like, I'm going to just punish my way into a weight loss or a body transformation. And the third thing I want to talk about is this idea that I think this is your strongest decade. When you get into your mid 40s, 50s, I'm in my late 40s now, but I really think this is like your strongest phase of life so far. I think that when we get into our mid 40s, we're a little bit more confident in ourselves. We're a little bit more confident in who we are as human beings. We know what we have to offer. We know what we bring to the world. And I think that we can translate that to creating the strongest body of our lives. Your mental discipline is stronger now. You've probably accomplished a lot of stuff. You've probably have raised a family. You've had a successful career. you've done some successful, volunteer work, maybe you've achieved some pretty significant goals in your life, you have that confidence that you can go out and do the things. That mental discipline transfers over to a body transformation journey, a weight loss journey, that you can apply, absolutely 100% apply all of that mental exercise that you've got, that experience that you've got achieving other things. You can 100% apply that mental discipline to your body transformation journey. I also think that once we get into your mid 40s, late 40s, early 50s, in 50s, 60s, etc., like you are a little bit better at the longer term thinking. Think about things like 20 years ago doesn't seem like very long ago, right? Whereas, when you're in your 20s, when you're 25 years old, like 45 seems so far off. But then when you're 45, you're like 25 wasn't that long ago. 65 is right around the corner. And so we get a little bit better about this longer term thinking and thinking about like the choices that we're making right now are 100% impacting us in our 20 years from now, 100%. I think about that. I was actually just talking to somebody earlier this week who is 39 years old, and he was talking about how he is kind of in that phase of life where he's just like, I'm starting to think about like where I'm going to be when I'm 50, where am I going to be when I'm 60 years old? And I need to start doing some things now to make sure that I'm supporting my body and supporting my goals longer term. So I think that, as that's probably one thing I think that we just don't talk about enough is that we have that we're a little bit more clear with our longer term thinking and longer term goals, that it's not this just 6-week challenge. It's, I'm 48 years old and I want to be strong, healthy, happy when I'm 68, 78, 88, 98 years old. I still want to be doing the things that I love to do. I love to hike. I like going to yoga. I like being active. I like, just being this person that if I wanted to go do something, I can go do it. And so I think that, those are really a couple of things that I just don't think we talk enough about with a fitness journey over the age of 40. It's just that the rules have 100% changed. They have 100% changed. Give yourself time, give yourself some grace, understand we're playing the long game here. Understanding you've got better ways of thinking about things. Like you're not punishing yourself any longer. You're fueling your body so that you can do the things that you want to do. You're better at thinking long term. You're better at thinking more strategically. You're better at looking at life like, I want to support myself over the next 10, 12, 15, 20, 30 years to do the things that I still want to continue doing. There's a couple of things that I would, just share with somebody who is getting restarted on their fitness journey. It's, these are the things that we should do. I always preach about the boring basics, weight lift, eat your protein, eat your vegetables, get enough sleep, drink water, lower your stress levels, things like this. Boring basics, they work. Be consistent with them over a long period of time. They do work. But I also want to talk about some of the things that we don't necessarily always talk about and some things to honor, that we have with experience, some things that, just change the game a little bit. I've got a couple other of videos here of just tips, ideas, strategies that I might share with somebody who is over the age of 40, approaching 40, well into their 50s, 60s, 70s. I know several of you are in your 70s. And just some tips, ideas, things I think about. If you want to watch those videos, I'd love to have you over there.